Testing. Testing. Why is it so low? Testing. Testing. Oh. Some water before I get started. There we go. We'll be picking up where we left off yesterday. We have everything from this stack and these two rows all playing down to the same thickness. And I was just using my tape measure until just now. Checking it with my calipers. We're at like 39 millimeters if I wanted to be fancy. We're just under 1 9/16, so we're almost to 1.5 inches. Our goal is 1 3/8 inches. So again, should be about 2 more passes before we get to our proper thickness. I still have to plane all of this at the current setting, but then I get to lower the planer blade for another pass. We'll run everything through, and by that point, we should be, hopefully, at 1.5 inches, if not just under. And then one more pass should be finishing everything up. So the goal is to finish this up, and then once I get my bench cleared, I need to build a new router table for my router lift that I have built into the wings of my table saw. We might end up ripping stuff down, getting everything cut to the proper lengths and widths before I end the live stream. We might start building some of the router table, but I do plan to actually make a video on that, so I'll need to kind of stop the live to start the build, but we might go ahead and make all the parts. The video might just kind of be me putting it together and putting it on the router table. We'll kind of decide once we get to that point. The goal for today, though, is to get everything down to our proper thickness, being 1 3/8 inches. So that way I can at least have my table saw and everything else clear to go forward with other projects. So we ended yesterday right after I changed the bag on my dust collector, and we stopped once we got to these last 2 stacks right here. We're going to keep running everything down to 1 3/8 inches. Can you hear me now? Yeah, the mics are only blinking and not syncing up. Hey, is it better now? Okay. Well, yeah. There we go. I'm not a tech person. I'm doing my best. Okay. There we go. About inch and 9/16 3/16 that we need to go before we get to our desired thickness. We still have these 7 boards that still need to be played through at the 3 cleaner settings. Goal is 2 more passes after I finish up these 7. So I get those 7 through, I'm going to crank down the planer. Again, try to take the next 2 passes to get 3/16 to go. If I can get that dialed in, next step would be to brick wall these in the proper widths, cut them to their lengths. Again, the styles of rails for the boards going to be 4 3/4. So these are about 5 and 3. So I guess you can make those 2 perfect squares. I do have the dust plates on there. Why did it disconnect? Yeah, for whatever reason, the mic keeps disconnecting. I don't know why. Yeah, the actual mic isn't staying connected. Okay, it says it's good now. Is it working? Well, yeah, I can't sit here and actually spend all my time trying to figure that out. You guys might not be able to hear me today. That's a separate problem I need to look into. I gotta try to get some of this work done. I don't know why it keeps disconnecting. Yeah, there it goes. It's connected now. And again, if it disconnects, I don't really know. All right, so yeah, while I'm connected, it just disconnected again. Oh yeah, I can't spend all day trying to figure out what's going on with that. That's a whole nother problem that I might have to deal with. Milling and factory on it. We've only jointed one side. Table saw will finish up the other side. So mill everything down, rip stuff down. Then I'm going to actually end up making a video on how I actually build my router table fence. And then hopefully by tomorrow I can be running all these boards through the router table to get them profiled. This mic is really pissing me off though. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna keep going. guys hear anything? Does that help? Yeah, so you guys, my mic, I guess, again, has just been fucking up. I don't know what's going on with that. We're going to go with just the sound from my phone for right now. Okay, so... So you guys couldn't hear anything like at all? And yeah, it's cutting in and out because you guys are just hearing from the audio on my phone. And that's probably because it's way back there. Okay, yeah, and when it comes to buying lumber, so I guess you didn't hear any of that. And no, nada. Okay. I gotta figure that out today if I want to do any more streams. Do I need to buy a whole new mic or... Oh, that sucks. I'll figure that out. Shit, I got enough shit to do. And I'll probably just order another mic on Amazon, see if I can get it overnight it. So more or less, as far as buying lumber, if you're going to buy hardwoods, I would highly recommend buying hardwood from a lumber yard, strictly because if you're going to buy it rough, it's a lot cheaper. If you're going to buy it already milled, it's still cheaper to buy from a lumber yard. Home Depot, they don't specialize in hardwood. Or Walmart, yeah, possibly. Yes, the shop has been awesome. I've been able to again. Oh, squirrel turds. How you been there, boss? And yeah, the shop has been treating me great. We're definitely coming along. We're in the process of building 10 interior doors. We have a bunch of ash laying around the shop. And yeah, so back to that question. Um, Home Depot carries red oak, cedar, and poplar as far as the hardwoods on that they carry, and they only carry S4S, which means it's been surfaced on all four sides, which is where I'm in the process of getting all this wood to. This is currently surfaced on three sides, two faces and one edge. I still have one edge to address. But again, if you buy it rough, it's cheaper and you have the ability to make it to whatever thickness you want. So I would say if you have a small shop, I would highly recommend getting your table saw, your miter saw, circular saw, jigsaw, and then I would recommend delving into getting a jointer and or planer as your next tools.
Hi, Snoogum.
Hi, Alina.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
That's good.
Thank you.
I just came out to holler at you.
How you doing, young lady?
I'm doing fine. Uh-huh. You know what? Your auntie need a favor.
Oh, I'm currently live streaming, Auntie.
Huh?
I'm currently live streaming.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine, young lady. We'll talk about it in just a second.
Oh, okay.
I love you.
I love you too. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I appreciate you guys for saying hi. Yeah, so I would say buying lumber rough is definitely cheaper, especially if you're doing a lot of it. And if you're going to buy it milled, definitely buy it milled already from a lumber yard. Still cheaper than buying it from Home Depot. You have a large selection of variety, and you can go pick it out yourself. So definitely buy lumber from a lumber mill versus Home Depot. Again, unless you're just grabbing like some 1x6 pine or something like that, or like cedar fence pickets, yeah, get those from Home Depot. But anything else like ash, walnut, mahogany, zebra wood, all those other things, definitely go to a lumber yard. Same thing for your plywood. If you want to get any nice veneered plywood, don't get it from Home Depot. I highly recommend whatever lumber yard is in your local area. They say I build the best coops in the country. Complete about 2 per week by myself. And yeah, see, that's where the opposite end comes in. If you don't have the time nor capacity to mill all the lumber, I would say, again, get your lumber mill to mill it versus going to Home Depot. But again, if you're using standard pine boards, definitely go to Home Depot. because yeah, milling pine and stuff like that isn't really worth your time. If you're talking about chicken coops, I'd imagine you're just using pine and painting it. So I would say definitely Home Depot or Lowe's would be better. But if you wanted to make a better chicken coop, one that wouldn't rot out or fail after over time, going with cedar will probably be the best option. And if you go with cedar, I wouldn't even mill it. I would leave it rough. And I'll probably go with like you can get cedar 2x4s. And if it's lightweight enough, you probably can get away with like cedar fence pickets to make your coops and use the cedar fence pickets as a siding. And then, everything's made of cedar and it'll last longer. But then if you paint it afterwards, it'll last even longer. So it really just depends on the product that you're putting out to your clients. But if it's a bunch that you're batching out, I'll probably stick with pound and just paint it. And again, sorry about the audio. It's definitely been annoying. It started today. Where's my mic? I just had it. Oh, I put it over there. God, I thought I lost it again. All right. But yeah, we're at the victory lap. We're currently sitting at 1 7/16. We want 1 3/8. So if I set the planer up right on this next pass, I can do this in just one more. We're at 1 7. So I just need a 16th, slightly heavy 16th. And then I can run all this material through one last time and be done with the planer until I unfortunately have to move over to do all the panels. Milling is not done. Milling is really done for the majority of the door. The panels is a whole other story. I'll hopefully be able to delve into that pretty soon. Oh no, I forgot I took it out. I took it out once I unplugged the adapter from my phone. So yeah, I thought I lost it, but no, I forgot to put it on the table. So yeah, the goal is to finish up this planning process, and then I'm going to take some time. I need to build a new router table. I can show you guys. I have a router table currently, and I kind of want to take a smoke break anyway. So. I have a router table and a router fence that I could use for this project, but this is like an old Ryobi router fence with replacement AZAC panels that I made for the front. I want to make a new router fence for this router table because it's a nicer one built into my bench. I kind of want to use walnut or something really nice for the face. I probably won't do that, but one, I want to make the fence taller, and I want to make the fence overall longer. And this one has deflection on this side of the wing, which is the outfeed side. And before I run all this material through the router with these really large router bits, I would like to have a more stable fence. So the goal is to build a new fence, which is going to be a video. It's not going to be a live stream. But if I can build the fence today, run a few pieces through, then tomorrow I should be able to live stream me running everything through the router table, cutting things to length, and doing a couple test fits. That would be the goal. We'll see if we can get there tomorrow. But the goal is to get everything right now to 1 3/8, and then I'm going to delve into building me a new fence. I do got to rip all this stuff to proper lengths, cut stuff to length and everything else. I might do some of that on this live stream before we end tonight. But yeah, because I mean these are like 5.5, 5 3/4, and we need 4 3/4. So I could, after everything's planed down, run everything through the table saw, run stuff on the miter saw, and then can't end the live, and then the rest of it can be router table fence. But we'll see. We'll see how far we get. Right now, it should just be one more pass on everything, which I'm excited about. I've been milling for like 4 days straight. And that circles back to your question. So yeah, if milling is too much for you, again, this is 10 doors. I've built doors before, never had to mill wood for 10 of them before. Let alone these are 5-panel doors, horizontal panels. So there's a bunch of mid rails and everything else involved. So there's a lot of parts. If this was like a large 2-panel, like a Craftsman style 3-panel or something like that, a lot less internal parts on each door. It'd be easier and a little bit faster. And these are also interior doors, and I started with 8-quarter material because you can't buy 6-quarter. You only buy 4-quarter and 8-quarter. So I literally am turning half these, well, a third of the quarter of these boards into sawdust. So that's why I have so many bags, like 5 or 6 bags of sawdust currently, just from this project, and I haven't touched the panels. That's not including what I'm about to put on the table saw or the router table. So a lot of this wood is being turned to sawdust. unfortunately, because these are all interior doors. But let's set up this planer for this last pass, and I'll be talking to you guys hopefully in the next 25-30 minutes. It shouldn't take long to run all these. All right. been like 4, maybe 5 days of milling, and it feels great to finally be on the other side of that. Again, we're still not done with milling because I do have, let's see. Oh, did I miss some stuff? Oh, can't wait to do that. Thank you. I am a heck of a carpenter if I say so myself. And yes, the milling phase is finally postponed for a while. Because again, I still have all this 4/4 material up front that needs to be milled up and glued up for the panels. But this is all of my style and rail material for these doors. We have everything we need here to actually build the doors, minus again the panels. And now that I can actually open the door, you can give some examples. Was this close far enough? Actually, I know what I gotta do. Give me just a second. For those that don't know door anatomy, we can take a quick class. I don't need the planer for a while. You can come over here into the corner. You have done your job quite well. Oh, we got those clamps still up there. All right. And the camera, can I zoom in while live? I don't think so. Oh, I can. Holy shit. Look at me learning stuff. Oh, wait, it keeps resetting. Is that as far as it can zoom? Okay. Let's see if I can make that work. So, with a door, you have multiple parts. The styles, I actually color coded it for myself because I'm not gonna say dyslexic, but I need my notes to make sense to me. So the styles are the taller vertical part. Oh, it's messing up. Oh, it's messing up. Oh shoot, we kicked out. How much you guys hear? I just noticed that it was buffering. How much of that should you guys miss? I just turned around and saw it was buffering. Damn it. I'm going to be a tech person. I'm going to get better at this. But yeah, so the bottom rail needs to be 9 1/4. And that's what all these wider pieces are. Hold on, like 30 seconds. We're good. Okay. Yeah, that bottom rail. Come this way. This bottom rail, these are like 12 inches, 11 inches. So it's going to be more than enough to make my 9 1/4. I need to rip those down. And then we have all of my mid rails, being all these pieces. Each door is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which will give you 5 blank panels because you have 6 total rails. Bottom rail plus the 5 mid rails gives you 5 panels. Those panels are going to be that 4/4 material up front that still needs to be milled down and glued up. All of my rail material, mid rails, and everything else, that's all these shorter pieces. The door is going to be about 30 inches. Some of them are like 19, so I have enough to get 2 of these out of each one of these. So in total, I have a lot more cutting and stuff to do. But the next step for me, I see the stream has been about 2 hours. I can do a couple different things. I could come over to the table saw. Thank you. And this will actually be my first time doing interior doors, so I never used a router bit set. Well, I've done cabinet doors, so it's kind of the same thing. Slide the camera back. What I need to do, oh, I can also zoom back out. Let me do that too. So I can actually, my original router table just hung off of my bench. I'll throw clamps on it, and then I can put it kind of anywhere. And then I just had an insert for set router table. Drop that in, and I have my fence. That drops in there. This fence currently, I think, needs an upgrade. Let's see, cut it in and out. Damn it. Hopefully you guys caught some of that. This is my old router table. Considering the amount of doors and the weight of all the material that needs to be ran for these doors, the size of the bit and everything else that needs to get used, I recently upgraded to a full router lift and put it into the wing of my table saw. One, just because I kind of always wanted a full router lift. Two, because whenever you're routing stuff like that, styles and rails and stuff like that for doors, you don't want the router itself to be shaking or wobbling as you're going through your routing process. It'll cause burn marks and not smooth cuts. So before I did all these doors, I wanted to get this squared away. I have it mounted into the table, but now I need to build a fence for it. I could use my existing fence, but I actually want to make a longer one and make it a little bit better. So I'm going to add feather boards and everything else to it. I do need to route in a track right here, so I can actually add a coping sled to it. And then I did set it up to where I can use my table saw fence in conjunction with the router table. But I plan to actually build a separate router table fence. So I need to do that, and that's going to be in a series of videos. So I'm going to try to record all that content kind of today, so I can be set up to go into routing all the styles and rails for the doors tomorrow. And I've made, again, plenty of cabinet doors. Again, I don't have a shaper, so this is I found really cool. The biggest bit I've had in my arsenal previous to this was my cabinet door bit, coping stick. Actually, let me get a little closer for you guys. The largest bit I had in my arsenal for a while was my standard coping stick bit for my cabinets. And yeah, that's actually really nice. One, it gives me a lot more flat surface on the table saw. And the reach, I'm short. So the Delta table saw originally sat like 37 inches. So I am in the process of building a full functioning cabinet. I took the legs off the table saw so I can drop everything down. I recently cut this bench, that used to be matching this table saw. I actually cut the legs off of it and made this one shorter. And now this bench is the same height as my other two up front, but those two also are adjustable height, so I can kind of raise it up and down. But yeah, so now eventually I still need to build all this cabinet space. My dust collection is back here on the wall, back here. It's going to get mounted over here. Then I'm going to run dust collection up and over, probably drop it down to this side, which will eliminate my current vacuum setup. Again, all in the works, but I'm currently in the middle of a project, so I can't do but so many upgrades and changes because, I got to actually make progress. But again, this was the biggest bit I had previously, and now I have one for actual doors. And again, before I start, because I've ran this and done plenty of cabinet doors with this, but considering that this is a very large bit, a set of very large bits, I just wanted a better router table, better router fence, and some better dust collection before I moved into trying to do that one on such large and long pieces. Typically when I do doors, the last few I've done, they've all been shaker style with either full tenons or bridle joints. So I never needed the router table to actually cut none of that joinery. But in this case, there's going to be, again, just like standard cabinet doors, just much bigger bits. This is the Freud door set bit set. We're not doing raised panels though. They're gonna be shaker style or flat panels on the doors. So no raised panels, but we'll be using these two bits. But to do so, I could go ahead and say screw it, drill and route in the T-tray and drop that fence in there and get right to work. I might do that. Well, I'm going to use the same spacing. So whatever fence I'm going to build is going to have the same holes or location as these ones are. So I could use this fence come tomorrow if I don't get a chance to build my own. But my game plan is to build a better fence, add a dust port, so that way come tomorrow, all of those can be ripped to their proper widths and then ran through the router table. So if I can actually get that recorded, built the fence and everything else, tomorrow we should be live running a bunch of that through the router table, which shouldn't take too long. So I have feather boards and everything else, so it should be quick and easy, just feeding everything through. And then I can kind of do some test fits on the doors. I won't need that much wood stacked up in that back corner. I can kind of have doors assembled and stacked somewhere else. And then I can delve into, well, get back to milling with all of that ash up front. Yeah, I'm at the point where I need a bigger shop. And yes, I want a shaper. I'm actually looking at one. I found one. And once my dust collector is no longer in that back room, the goal for it was a CNC laser engraver and a lathe. But I might throw a shaper back there as well. I also want a bigger bandsaw, which again, I'm using the shop as efficiently as I can with the space I have. But it's getting to the point where I do need something just a tad bit bigger, especially if I'm gonna take on projects like this. You know, if it's one or two doors, the shop is more than fine. You know, a couple cabinets. But where we are now, I don't think I can build like a full kitchen. Yeah. Oh my God. See, yeah, I forgot Squirrel Turd. Yeah, you're one of the people that's been watching the channel for an extremely long time. So yeah, again, are you watching your live on TV? Yes, that's how I see my chats. Because I'm not gonna keep looking back to my phone, so my chats are on the television. I kind of just screen mirror my phone to the TV, and then I can just look over there to read the chats and kind of see what it looks like. And yes, the shop has definitely come a long, long way. If you guys go back and watch like my first videos, like there wasn't any lights, those cabinets weren't up there. I had none of the tooling, none of the benches. One, there was a mess. This is again my dad's garage that I've kind of taken from him. And when I first got in here, we had bikes and lawnmowers and all my dad's stuff kind of laid all throughout here. And if you guys saw the tent in the backyard, I put up that tent, got a shed moved out there. I built this first bank of cabinets up front to kind of house all of his car tools because he's a mechanic by trade. So all of his socket sets, ratchets, and everything else are all up front. Oh yeah, that's why I look at it. Yeah, that's kind of what takes most of my attention because one, it'll be kind of hard to go back and look at my phone to see what you guys are saying. Yeah, so I'm always checking back on the TV. But yeah, so the shop has definitely come a huge, long way. Yeah, I'm really excited with it. I have a few more things that will take it to the next level. One of them is getting that dust collector out that corner, which will free up that whole entire room, really. The only thing that's in there is my air compressor and my exercise bike. So with that whole wall over there free, I can build some more cabinets and look at it again, CNC, laser engraver, and 3D printer. And that would kind of allow me to do a lot more as far as the customization to my projects. Also, if you guys didn't know, my dad is a Falcons fan, which led to these cabinets up here. The black lacquer and the red cedar handles was an homage to his team. And then later on, if you guys again haven't seen these are my Jorbinets. I kind of built these probably like 3 years after those. And these are pull-out drawer units for my upper cabinets. Most people are too short to reach stuff in the back of their cabinets. So by making wooden full extension drawer slides, instead of buying metal ones, I can make cabinets to where I can reach the full depth. And on the other side, I hold my blades and stuff. And then each and every one of these are all wooden full extension drawer slides. Adverse to when I first got into making all my slides inside of my shop are wooden slides though. And I don't really like buying metal slides. I like to make something myself. Adverse, like again, when I first got started, didn't really know how to make a drawer slide. So the metal ones. But this is my dad's corner where I keep all of his junk. And my computer for editing. But now we have all the thick material set up for the doors. We still have all of the panel material that does need to be milled up, jointed, and some of it glued up because again the panels are about 10 inches. And the widest boards I can get were 10s, but most of them are 6s. So I'm gonna have to do like a lot of glue ups and stuff to get all this ready for the actual doors. Oh yeah, I tried to get it organized, but again, where is it? Those totes and those buckets down there in that corner. The garage has been organized for probably about 3 years now. That's my dad's last bit of stuff he has yet to go through. They have just been getting moved around as I took up more and more space out here. And yes, that's the thing. I've been trying to tell him to organize stuff for a while. I was like, hey, I took the time to build the places for stuff. Let's I want labels. I'm getting a label maker just for me because I hate thank you. It has definitely come a long way. I would say if you guys want to see a laugh, again, my regular videos are not the best, but if you guys want to get a laugh, go back and watch like my videos from like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They are horrible. And if you guys want to see how bad the shop looked, yeah, go back about 2 years. Yeah, just go back to like oldest content and just watch like 5 or 6 of those videos. And I think you guys would definitely appreciate the growth. Again, we're not quite done. I still have some plywood because got lazy. There's still plywood up there on the ceiling that I haven't done. I have the plywood. It's actually behind me. It just on this wall over here, I plan to get a mini split, and my parents' bathroom is directly above, which is where that plumbing runs up there. I want to get all that redone, put that into a chase, and then I want to get a mini split, get them a new hot water heater, put that down here. So that wall, kind of don't want to hang that until I get all that stuff ran. So me finishing the actual shop is kind of held up, but I do want to like probably do something cool on the ceiling, hang some flags or something up there, probably paint it. I might do like a tongue and groove on the wall over here. I probably will build some cabinets for next to my TV instead of just having like random knickknacks that I built over there. I probably build me like a little media cabinet TV stand type situation. Be a great little display. But then, yeah, at that point, the shop is kind of full. There's not really much else I can do in here. That side door goes out to my deck and fire pit. Oh, mine's is fairly neglected. Again, I hide scraps everywhere. That over there is just scraps left over. This whole bench, the whole purpose of this bench idea was for me to organize my scraps. And it's no, well, not even scraps. The organized materials. I have different length cubbies. The top cubby is 6 foot. The next one is 3 foot. So there's another 3 foot one on the other side. And then I have a 4 foot and a 2 foot. And then the back section back here is it can fit full sheets of plywood. Then I have additional cubbies back there. But then underneath my hand tool bench where I'm supposed to be building drawers, scraps. Oh, but that's not it. There's a whole bin I have hanging on my French cleat door full of scraps. And then scraps. Oh, but we're not done because you gotta have the all-two bathroom scraps stored away too. You know, scraps are kind of stored everywhere throughout the shop. Because, and then this corner, I recently got a new mini fridge. my old mini fridge, and my seats are just covered with stuff. Oh, and my recliners that I should be able to sit into, just full of miscellaneous stuff. And yeah, see, I can't throw away scraps. They all have a purpose. The Jorbanet units over there, all those cabinets are entirely of scraps. The carcasses are half-inch OSB. The face frames and door fronts, those are all leftover mahogany from test pieces from the last few doors I built. Uh, the quarter-inch plywood on the face, leftover scraps. I have no purpose for quarter-inch plywood inside the shop. So that's what that is. The actual carcasses, the drawer boxes, and everything else, all are scraps. So I am pretty good at reusing them. It's just I tend to accumulate more than I can find a reason to use. It's a never ending battle. We're definitely working on it. We're getting better and at holding on to so many scraps. And now I have a decent collection of hardwoods on top of that cabinet, on top of that cabinet, all sitting up there. All that's walnut. So like now I'm being better at saying, hey, I don't need to keep every scrap. You know, every piece isn't valuable. Oh yeah, but see, yeah, reusing stuff is always glorious. When I had thin strips that were laying around the shop. All these, again, once you rip off a little skinny strip like this, typically, you know, no good for anything but trash. But for me, I had a bunch of strips like this, and then I had a bunch of small scrap pieces of mahogany at the time. But then, you know, I got to create these. So you can throw stuff away, or you can make 100 coasters that will sit in your shop forever and be great gifts to family and friends. I've been making a thing on the channel, having video series of converting my cluttered garage into a functional shop. All the tools needed are there, just work around. Yeah, so I would say definitely start a channel. It doesn't really hurt. The only thing I can say is if you have editing skills, it'll be a lot easier for you. I am not tech savvy at all. That's why I can't fix my mic right now. Um, so if you have editing skills slash free time, I highly would recommend it. Because again, my goal, I started doing the live stream strictly for one, because I wanted to be able to hang out with the people that watch my channel. Two, they're a great source of watch time hours. I think I've been on YouTube for probably about 3, 4 years at this point, and in the last 6 days, I've gained more watch time than I typically do in like maybe like 4 or 5 months. So I'm doing more lives. I think I'll be able to get monetized again, probably if I keep it up, maybe in like the next 2 months, 3 months tops. So definitely worth it, especially if you have the free time and if you have ideas. I have a lot of video ideas, but creating the actual video is time consuming. So a lot of times I'm out here just trying to create a project and I kind of just set my camera in the corner. And then with the proper editing skills, my videos come out the way they do. Definitely. I'm definitely going to get there one day. We're getting so close. And there was something funny, not really productive. The other day, my buddy, I showed him all these bits. And his first reaction made me happy, but then, I told him don't do it. But these are like Beyblades. Just really dangerous, cut your finger off Beyblades. Like, they're cool. I can't wait to get a shaper and have like giant bits. Was popped up. Yeah, see? And that's also what I'm thinking. I think the live streams will one help push out my channel to a lot more people that otherwise wouldn't find it. And then hopefully when I get stuff figured out, get better editing, better like this glare, figure out why that does that. Get my mics working, etc. We got flooded once and had to throw out a bunch of stuff. Couch had 6 oh. Do you have a lathe? You make goblets? See, I want to make cups. I want to make cups, and a buddy of mine, he does epoxy cups, epoxy like scrap hardwoods. Cause that's a really good way to use small pieces like this. Because if you throw this inside of a mold, fill it with epoxy, and turn it on the lathe, you can get some really cool looking cups and bowls. So Again, especially if you want to throw, you can throw a bunch of different pieces inside of your mold, pour it with epoxy, then go straight to the lathe, and then your scraps can always be turned into a spoon, a bowl, a plate. Smalls can always be made if you have a lathe. It's one of the tools. Again, that back room has a purpose. It's just when will I get there? Yeah, but so yeah, what my buddy did was he bought a bunch of molds. You can buy them online. They're like for shot glasses. He made a bunch of epoxy resin shot glasses and then cups, and then he did bowls. So he'll get and take a chunk of wood, maybe about the side. Like if the mold for the shot glass might be like 3x3 or whatever else. So then he will take a chunk of wood that's just like a 3x3, or glue up a bunch of blanks to make it 3x3, drop it in the mold, and then pour epoxy up there. And then once it comes out, now you have a square rectangular blank with wood and epoxy. Throw it on the lathe, and you can make your shot glasses, bowls, etc. I definitely want a lathe because I tried his a few times. And I don't have the skill. I'm not good at it at all, but it gives me again the ability to make some more cool stuff. So future goals, future projects. But I think what I'm about to do, guys, is call the live here. Actually, let me check my phone. What is the percentage? I want to make sure it doesn't die in the middle of me talking to y'all. We're at 15%. Good thing I decided to check. Yeah, I've only done like 3 or 4 epoxy projects, some serving trays and stuff. I'm definitely looking forward to my first river table. And between me and you guys, before I'm really old, I want to be doing full time dining room tables. It's like the best thing you can get into. The install is just putting in the legs and dropping the top off. It's goals in life. But yeah, so I think I'm about to call it here. We're at like 15%. I'm going to delve into getting this router table over here situated. Maybe route, because I have to record the actual footage from my YouTube videos. So before I go live and just go live until I finish, I want to be able to record enough footage for the YouTube channel. So got to build the fence, got to get the fence mounted, and then I want to delve into routing a bunch of stuff. I greatly appreciate you for saying thank you. So again, when I first started this, who knew that I actually want to have like 2,000 odd subscribers at this point? Some of the lives have done really well, over 100 plus people. But I appreciate every single person that comes in here, because again, I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. So I really appreciate that, and it's been a fun journey. It's definitely, I learned a lot. I met some other content creators, so it's been a great process and a great journey. But yeah, we're also just want to say thank you guys, because we're almost toward monetization again. I think I was hovering at like 1,000 watch time hours for almost a year. Then I started doing the lives. I think again in the last 4 days, 5 days, I gained about 600 watch time hours, which is again more than what I've had for like years. So I'm gonna keep doing these lives as long as I have a project that I can actually want to entertain you guys with. The biggest issue is I'm trying to record stuff for the YouTube videos, so not every single project can be put on a live. But I've been trying to record enough footage for the video and then hop the rest of it on live. It's been the goal. So like this door project, there was like 4 or 5 days of milling in this project, so perfect opportunity to go live. But I do need to figure out what's going on with my mic before I can go live again. I might just order one tonight or something. I gotta figure that out. I figure all about that. I don't know what the audio sounds like right now. I'll probably hear it after the stream. I don't know what it sounds like directly to my phone. Does it sound bad? I know they're rechargeable, but then again, one thing I was thinking is like when I plug them up, they go into like a little charger case. I never cut them off. I just kind of put them in the case. So I mean, maybe that's why. I don't really know. Again, these are like cheap Amazon mics. They're like $40. I've had them for like a year and a half, and I did drop the receiver yesterday. And when I dropped the receiver, the case had opened up, and like I saw the chip and everything else, but I was able to put the case back on, and I did use it last night to record some videos. So I thought it was working, but maybe not. Um, and yeah, because I did drop this yesterday, and this is the receiver that goes into the phone, and this kept connecting and disconnecting. So it probably is this. Probably just need to order a new one. But again, technology is not my cup of tea. I'll figure it out. I probably will order one tonight. I gotta remember that. But I greatly appreciate you guys for hanging out. The stream was great, and it's always been good. Chop once.
Thank you, boss man. Again, it's been a great journey so far, and I can't wait till I come back in my first video. Like, hey, I'm monetized. Everybody that's been watching my channel is getting $1,000. I'm gonna figure that out. Hopefully, one day when I get big enough. Squirrel turds for you for sure. I owe you like a piece of furniture or something, man. Like one, I love being able to say squirrel turds. It's hilarious. I actually have a reason to say it, and so yeah, I definitely owe you a piece of furniture or something. I gotta figure out how I can do that. Hopefully, one day when the channel's big enough, I'll just be able to start shipping out furniture to everybody. But greatly appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. And hopefully, if everything goes right, I will be seeing you guys tomorrow, and we'll be done with all the milling. No more boring stuff back there. We can be doing all the cool stuff that makes stuff look like doors. That'd be awesome too. All right, you guys. I greatly appreciate it, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.